The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go!
And a happy early Thanksgiving to you, our American friends.
Yeah, freedom.
Thanks to you.
Freedom turkey.
Thanks to you, we get 14 hockey games tonight, and then nothing tomorrow, and nothing last night, and then Friday it'll be a bunch of afternoon games. Which, by the way, I love a good afternoon hockey game.
I don't mind it. I like it from a work perspective. Yeah. But if you're working, then yeah, I could see how it would suck.
One day I want to do the official power rankings of the best time zones to watch sports.
Oh.
And right now I'm leaning heavy towards the Central.
Oh,
the Central time zone, I think, might be. It's really close is the West, because I love when I was out on the West Coast like a couple times in my life, watching an afternoon game, like the 4 o'clock start, and then you get the next one at 7, and then it's kind of like 10 and everything's done. It's beautiful.
I think West Coast weekend can't be beat, but Central weekday.
Well, here,
Does that make
so
sense?
Mountain Time, let me throw this at you. Mountain Time is a bit of a wild card because it's only a 2-hour difference. But what I found was if you go too far west, then it's almost over too early. Like, especially when you're like 10 o'clock.
No, but I see, that's why I liked it.
Okay, why?
Because so you'll have the 4, let's say Leafs start at 4, right? Because that'll be 7 o'clock East Coast time, right? So Leafs start 4 local.
Yep.
And then you get that game. Then you get the 7 o'clock Vancouver Canucks game, Kings game, whatever you want to watch. And then 10 o'clock, you get to watch your shows. You get to hit up Netflix. You get to go to Crave. You get to do all the other stuff that you didn't used to have time for because the games were on.
And go clubbing, right, Adam?
Yeah,
We're going clubbing.
Yeah, I'll tell you what we did in Calgary.
Hit up the bar.
I'm going to go full Mountain Time. I think
Get your Riz game on.
Edmonton,
Yeah.
Calgary, Colorado,
Hello, lady.
Denver, you guys have it the best. And the reason I'll say that is this. When I did used to go out to the bars, and it's been a while, we used to go to a place called Hudson's. Yep. And we would drink and we would watch the Leaf game, and we start at like 5 o'clock. So you have a little dinner, have a little beer or whatever it is. And then you watch let's say it's Leafs and Sens, and then Flames and Oilers on a Saturday night.
Hot damn.
So then you watch a Flames and Oilers game. Doesn't matter where they are. It's always good. And then at 11 o'clock, when it wraps up, that was the perfect time for the bar to switch over to a nightclub, which is what it did. And that was because 10 o'clock's too early, right?
Yeah, so what time zone's that?
That's Mountain Time. So that's
so
a 2-hour difference, not a 3-hour.
Yeah, and then the Central's the 1 hour.
Yes.
I think the Central might be leading. That Mountain Time is pretty, because the 2 hours are pretty cool. So yeah, it might be
Mountain Time is delish.
Central West.
Yes,
or maybe Mountain West Central.
If
what
you're
about
trying to work,
Stockholm?
If you're trying to
everything
work
in Europe
sunset,
is 0.
If you're trying to work selling sunset into your Saturday night, though, it's got to be Pacific, right? Because
then you get the extra time. But that Mountain, the 2 hour might be the best, because then it's 5 o'clock. You're done work and the game starts.
You don't like a little
That's probably the best.
hockey?
No, everything on the other side of the world is 0. Like, you're at the bottom.
Okay,
you're not in this discussion.
We weren't here.
Nothing's catered to you. I'm sorry.
We weren't here for the Sunday 8 in the morning game. What was that like?
Oh, I liked
Are
it.
you wearing my press pass?
Yeah.
Jesse, you're not supposed to have that on camera.
That's fine now.
Oh, it's fine now because the event's over?
You're not supposed to show them when you have the actual event. But
I didn't notice you were wearing my press pass the whole friggin' time.
Global series.
You're telling a story.
Steve will keep that like
No, I
every
was
press
asking you
pass
a
he's
question.
ever had.
Oh, what was the question?
What was it like watching the Leafs at 8 in the morning?
I liked it, Adam. Did you?
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. I woke up on Sunday. My daughter sleeps until like 8:45, which is primo.
I know. I want to set you on fire.
Yeah, I know. Drew's giving me the finger right now. I'm telling you, I got the best sleeping kid out there.
You and I are kind of used to that, though, because I wake up to watch F1.
Yeah.
Most like during the summer and
Yep.
the F1 season, their races are usually at 9 a.m. unless it's in a weird part of the world. So I'm used to waking up at 9 a.m. on Sundays to watch and Saturdays to watch qualifying in the race.
Sunday morning sports is great because then you have your coffee, you watch it, and then you get some chores done. And then if it's the fall, like, you can throw football on. If it's the summer, you probably got an afternoon baseball game you can throw on. Like, I don't know. I love an early morning sporting event. Getting fired up early. It's fun. You would have loved it.
Do you hold your coffee like this and put it right under your chin?
I do.
Next to your fireplace.
Just think about how much you've accomplished
And just be cozy.
Yeah,
Cozy vibes, bro.
with your socks like almost up to your knees.
Well, no, and you got to have they got to be like puffy. They got to be like the ones from Indigo that are just like mittens on your feet.
Just if you have a hardwood floor, you're dead. You're just fucking dead.
I think you nailed it with the mountain, Adam.
Yeah. Mountain's good.
Yeah, dropping that 1 hour probably makes more sense because then it's 5 o'clock and you're off, and that's the
100%
time of the day.
That was just my thought on it, but.
Yeah.
Shut up.
You'll have to excuse the cough. I'm feeling a lot better today. It's just,
good. But every time you cough, I'm going to tell you to shut up.
Well, so because we didn't get any games last night, we're going to do a bit of an extended press conference today.
Woo.
But we also need to talk about a few things and follow up on a few things. So as we are recording the episode yesterday, Columbus, we're talking about the issues in Columbus. The Patrik Laine quote, which was the quote of the day yesterday in the NHL about him being embarrassed by, the Columbus Blue Jackets scratching him. And he said, I've talked to them about it. He was apparently blindsided by it. He said, we'd had some discussions. He's like, but I didn't know that this was going to happen. It makes me wonder how much longer, we wondered this in September. How much longer does this management group have? How much longer do they have now? How much patience and tolerance does this ownership group who swore up and down? They didn't need to do this, by the way. Swore up and down they weren't going to make changes. If there's problems, you shouldn't commit to anything. So when you're managing something, we got a big problem on our hands. You shouldn't make statements that are like, this is the way it is. This is my line in the sand, because you might need to make some changes because things aren't going well. And what I'm looking at is a management group in Columbus that now the owners have said, well, they have to stay. We don't want any more messing around, right? And I don't think that they maybe should. And it doesn't sound like the players think that they should. It doesn't sound like the fans think that they should.
Now, okay, it's easy to hop on a show and be like, they got to make a move. They got to do something. And it's definitely the sexier thing to do. Drew, I thought, made an excellent point because he was talking about, I was trying to think of what is the closest thing we've seen to the Babcock situation with Columbus, where a coach didn't even make it to training camp. Remember 16-17? Patrick Waugh just quit the Avalanche. He just quit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that.
And Jared Bednar had to take over. Do you remember that Avalanche team?
Terrible.
They friggin' stunk. Calvin Pickard played over 50 games, if I remember correct. He played like 55 games. They didn't have a goalie. They didn't have players to system, hope in the world, nothing. And then what happened?
Nathan McKinnon signed the best extension in league history.
Ever. They fleeced two teams in the same three-way deal with the Matt Duchene trade and rode off into the sunset. They were Stanley Cup champions within half a decade. So I'm not saying that's going to happen to Columbus because Colorado had guys like Mikko Rantanen in waiting.
Landeskog,
yes.
Already good.
Yes. It's amazing how many parts of that really, really terrible team ended up winning the cup.
Well, a lot had to go wrong.
A lot had to go wrong, and then a lot had to go right. But sometimes it feels like it's easier to get out from the bottom in the NHL. Look at how miserable and sad sack the Ducks were last year. And now here they are. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs, but they're competitive and relevant. You know what I mean? Last year they were neither. So is the move to make a bunch of sweeping changes in Columbus? I mean, it kind of seems like it, but that is the sort of thing that can happen if you're patient. We've ripped on Dubois for, basically forcing his way off two teams. I mean, Laine's kind of getting himself into the same situation. But bigger things were expected of Laine than Dubois. Even though Dubois was fourth pick, third pick. Laine, we all thought, that's a perennial 50-goal scorer. That's the closest thing we've seen to Ovechkin. And last year, here's how low the expectations are. Last year, he was about a point-a-game player on the miserable Columbus Blue Jackets. And right before the show, I went, that's pretty good. No, it's not. Not for him. Not for him. He was scoring at, I think it was half a goal a game.
He had 22 goals in 55 games, 30 assists. That's 52 points in 55 games Year before, 56 and 56, 26 goals, 30 assists.
That's about a 40 goal pace, honestly.
Little off.
A little off.
Not quite.
Not. Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, no. 22 and 56. Is
Okay,
quite
don't make
40.
me do math. It's over 30.
Yeah,
Over 30.
it's in the 35-ish range.
In the 30. That's good.
34 maybe. Yeah.
That's good. I look at the height. I look at the weight. I look at the resume. Like everything here should work. Like you could trade him to another team and they could be like, hey, you're a winger, right? And he goes, yeah. Hey, I have this wild idea. What if we played you on the wing?
And
You know,
put
Columbus can just simply do that.
and put you on PP1.
Yes, Columbus can just simply play this winger where he should be, and he can friggin' light the world on fire.
Or you can leave Kent Johnson in the minors and keep teaching him a lesson.
I just don't know what the fuck.
Punching yourself in the face, essentially.
I don't know what you're doing. Like, they're not bad on purpose anymore.
Well, and you know what's interesting is that, people were kind of talking about it yesterday, and like there were players like especially Jurček came in and was by all accounts better than 3 or 4 of the defensemen they already have, and then they were like, you know what, let's healthy him. You know what, let's send him down. Like, why? What's going on?
Their situation actually doesn't seem all that difficult to fix. Like, maybe I'm being stupid. Like, because over a month ago, we were talking about, oh, they have too many defensemen and they're going to trade some of them. But meanwhile, they don't have enough forwards. Stupid! Pull the trigger, man! Move! Move some of these guys. Try to get some forwards. Do something. Do anything. Your team shouldn't be this shit.
Oh, I mean, it's a good roster on paper.
It should be relevant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not 9-game losing streak bad.
Yeah,
like you don't look at it and you say this team is going to be at the bottom of the entire league.
Did you think they'd make the playoffs?
No,
I didn't.
I thought they'd be competitive this year.
Yeah.
But like, this isn't, they're not relevant.
Yeah,
right
I thought
now.
they'd fight a little harder than they are.
You got to get relevant. I mean, the goaltending situation's pretty interesting. Like, I kind of wonder if there's a change of scenery deal out there for Merzlikins, but like that contract's a world of hurt. I think there are teams who would do it. I don't know what to do here with this team, but I think it starts with get Laine happy and playing the friggin' wing.
Yeah.
Look at their cap. Jesse has it up right now. So Cap Friendly, bless them, has Laine listed as a center, right wing, left wing, which is not true. Like,
He's played all
Yes.
all of the positions.
their highest paid true center, according to Cap Friendly anyway, like guy who just plays center, is Adam Fantilli, who is 18 and a rookie. They have Laine who can, Jenner who can, Corrali who can, Tessier who can, Justin Danforth who can. I'm sorry.
Justin Danforth is a creative player. That's somebody EA made up, and he made it into real life somehow. He broke the simulation.
You know what's going to be great? Is
when he scores against the Leafs.
when he gives the Leafs the taste of the Danforth and friggin' lights them up.
That'd be a great Joe Bowen call.
Yeah, taste of the Danforth. Oh, yeah.
Joe Bowen would nail that.
Stop sending me the petition, by the way. Stop it. It's not going to work. Stop it.
Petitions don't work like that. I'm sorry.
Stop it. The petitions aren't going to make this giant corporation want to spend more money. But yeah, like dude, get a center. Get a fucking center. Yeah. I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah.
Like, dude, we keep coming back to this. Like, I'm sure John Davidson wears a lot of this. Yarmo's been there since what, 2013?
Yeah.
Well, JD's been there since before that.
Stop.
JD left briefly though. Remember when he was in charge of the Rangers?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that whole
yes.
debacle.
Oh, with
And that went really well. That's why
Yeah.
he's still there, right?
That was awful.
He's the NHL's most valuable franchise. That's why he's still there running it, right?
Stop. What are we doing? What are we doing? Is it that hard to wrangle front office talent? They have some really smart young minds in that organization too. They do. In their front office.
Well, I think-
are they being listened to?
Well, I think you've got John and Yarmo who are in their own world. I mean, it's not the what we're hearing on the streets.
Yeah.
Is
you're
that-
just walking around asking?
No, but like from what's circulating right now is that people are baffled by the conversations they're having with this group. This management group. Baffled
So,
is the word.
They're not the team you call up to fleece because they'll just waste your time.
I don't even know if that's necessarily the case. Like I'm sure they're able to evaluate trades. I mean, they in theory, they made a good trade with Pierre-Luc Dubois.
They haven't.
The Damon Severson trade. Like,
I think it's
acquiring Severson was great.
Even grabbing Provorov for what they did. Like
Provorov, awesome.
I generally don't hate the things they've done.
it
It's
seems
the
to
final
be,
product is, guys, you have no centers.
and they also, but they
What the
also they also don't know how to develop players.
Mm-hmm.
Who have they developed?
Trying to think.
Rowinski, who he was going to the NHL anyway. Seth Jones.
Like you're talking about like guys who weren't surefire hits.
Yeah, like even their 3 last first round picks have been very, very good. But like, who else, man? Who else you got?
Like, do you count Jenner? I mean,
I'm talking
100%.
he's the captain.
Okay, but is Boone Jenner? How many years has he been in the league?
Quite a while.
Like, did they draft and develop him, or you know?
Yeah.
And no, I know Columbus did this management group.
Oh,
That's the point. Like, it's not Boone Jenner's first season was 13-14, so he was already developed. When Yarmo stepped in, it was 10 years ago.
Yeah, but if you take a look at their roster, they have many draft picks who are in their lineup right now, from Fantilli, Marchenko, Cole Sillinger, Boone Jenner, like if you want to add in there.
they're funny,
Werenski.
right? Like, we're looking for a reason why they're this bad. Because generally, you look at the things they've done and you're like, I don't hate most of it.
Mm-hmm. But they've had no success, and I think that's what
None.
it comes down to. You've had Kekalainen in there since 2013, and since then they've had one big moment where they beat the Tampa Bay Lightning, and then they beat the Leafs in a play-in round, and besides that, they've just been knocked out of the playoffs the few times they've made.
The Lightning win was really, really, really cool, and it was a fun moment. But take it from this Leafs fan, no one gives a shit. No one gives a shit, man. Like, the Leafs finally won around for the first time since 2004. And we rode that for about 3 or 4 days.
Yep.
Until we realized it didn't actually mean anything.
In the 10 years he's been there, that's the only playoff series they've won. Because the qualifying round versus the Leafs isn't technically the first round.
Yeah.
So if you don't count that, or if you do want to count it, then they've won 1.5.
Well, it's in the name, right? Qualifying.
Yeah, they
So,
won.
The Leafs lost. They did not qualify.
They did not
Columbus
qualify
won.
for the
They did
playoffs.
qualify.
Yeah,
And then
so
got killed.
they got killed by the Lightning in 5 games. And that's if you're a general manager of a team and in 10 years you have one playoff series win, I think that is a failure. And I think we've come to the position where the owner doesn't want to make a change because of all the hoopla that went on preseason. So we just got to wait out these guys' days, and eventually we're going to get to sometime in the spring and these guys are going to lose their jobs.
Mid-season arrives fast.
Yeah.
Like, listen, that thinking, you know what? We just went through a lot of upheaval. We don't want to do so. Again, solid logic. You lost 9 straight. Mid-season arrives fast. I don't know what to tell you.
I got to ask, is Pascal Vincent ready for this?
I don't like how he's been coaching.
No, but
with the line changes he's been making and how nothing is kind of stable and the benchings, like I don't know if what he's doing is getting the guys going.
you need centers. You need centers or you're dead.
You have one in the AHL who's doing well.
He can't call him up.
He can. Come on.
He can't call him
Yeah,
up.
it's not
Think
a
that
shot.
he can't go to Yarmo. Go Yarmo. What the fuck, man? You're having me play Patrik Laine at center?
He can't call him up.
Yeah, I think it's a little like it's hard to blame Pascal Vincent for anything. Like he just got thrown into this job a month ago.
You can at very least say he wasn't put in a position to succeed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Agreed.
And again, you could have just not hired Mike Babcock.
Right. And I think I think you guys are a little underestimating how difficult it is to make a decision to fire a president and GM 20 games into a season.
And, like,
it's
yeah.
not
Oh, yeah,
that's not a
because who's gonna-
small decision to make. Like
who's
I
gonna
get
run
they're
it?
losing, but you also when you fire somebody, you have to also replace that person
Yeah.
with somebody who can run the organization. So this is just going to take a little bit of time, but it's a complete mess and they need to go eventually.
Well, this is why you need a robust staff. Like this was the issue that we talked about in Ottawa.
Mm-hmm.
There was no replacement for Pierre Dorian under him. because they just didn't have a staff. I'm trying
And
to.
it took a man passing away and getting a new owner for somebody to come in and say, this organization is a complete mess the way Pierre Dorian has been running it and the way the old owner has been running it. Let's get some actual people who know what they're doing in here, and let's get rid of the old regime.
Hey, what if we like hired people?
Yeah, like literally, what if Ottawa hired scouts and player personnel, guys to run the organization? They all talked with each other, and they didn't all operate in their own silos. And that seems to be the case now. And they have an up and coming organization who's going to be good in a couple of years.
I'm just looking. They have a director of hockey analytics. They have a director of amateur scouting, obviously. For some reason, there's 2 listed. Trevor Timmins is one of them. Wasn't he with the Habs? Assistant general manager Basil McRae is 62.
You're reading Columbus's.
This
staff.
is just like Josh Flynn is 40.
I think
are these names? You know what I mean?
I think you need to. You're gonna have to bring in somebody that's got a new perspective and look at things through a different lens. Like, this is a prime opportunity. Again, I keep bringing up this name, Eric Tulsky in Carolina. If you could pry him out, there's a guy I bring in to be the GM. You need somebody with experience at the president level who can look after the business. Let Tulsky build his staff, look after the hockey. President looks after the business and outreach in the community and making sure that they get the corporate dollars and the fans and seats, and that they're right now, you sell winning or you sell hope in sports. Those are the 2 things you sell. So you're selling hope. Okay. You have to sell hope, right? And with a new general manager, and then you let Tulsky go in there and do his thing.
Well,
give him 24 months to turn it around.
What I'm saying is, sorry, I thought you were going to say you either sell winning, and I was going to go,
Oh yeah,
or you sell hope. They don't have that either. Well,
they got to try and sell hope now.
100%.
They have that with Fantilli.
If you ask around, Tulsky's the guy that's been behind a lot of the great Don Waddell regime moves in Carolina. Well, I'm such a fan of what this guy apparently can bring, because apparently this is the guy.
They have enough quality players that I don't think they need to like strip it down to the bone and be shit for a while. Like I think they can turn it around.
They've done that because they haven't been good.
Yeah. I also don't think this is a Samueli situation in the Ducks where if the Ducks aren't winning, they can't spend. Like, this team, I believe this family has significant dollars.
Who owns?
I'll look it up.
Well, this is the problem. They're spending, I think, more money than they ever have, and they're still bad.
John P. McConnell of J-Mac.
His name was on the that release after the Babcock stuff.
Right. He is the CEO of Worthington Industries from Louisville, Kentucky. A bunch of, I guess, there was like a steel facility. And he's owned the team since inheriting it from his father in 2008. So there was like a, I guess it's kind of boring business stuff.
Yeah, if I'm Mr. McConnell, I'm taking after the Barry Trotz way of running the people underneath me, and that I'm leaving the people in their jobs right now, but I'm going to openly go look for their replacements.
Oh, like what he did with John Hines?
Like what he did, the dirtiest thing I've ever seen. But that's probably how I'm operating with the Columbus job right now. Hey, I'm going to leave them there because I need somebody to do the jobs right now, but I'm going to go look for their replacements. And if I find something good, then I'm going to make that change immediately. Poor John Hines.
I hate to say this, but like, how many times have we seen in the NHL, have we seen in sports, and seen in our own personal lives situations where a corporation does something and we're like, I can't believe they did that, but they did it anyway. It's business. You got to be a little ruthless. Got to be a little ruthless. Well, no, you don't. No, you don't. No, there have been a lot of situations where I'm like, you didn't fucking need to do that, but they do it. They did it in the spirit of trying to win. You have to try to win.
You got a decade, and at the end of the decade, you reach to the point where you're hiring a coach who needs to be fired preseason, and the team has a bunch of young stars, and nobody's playing well. I'd be like, it's time's up.
You just spent a boatload of my money. Like, you begged to spend my money for a long time. I finally let you, and you made negative progress.
You got
You're
Gaudreau,
fired.
You got Laine, and none of this is working. Like, what are you doing?
You're fired.
Yeah, it's time.
I don't know, man. I don't like calling for that, but I'm sorry. Like, no GM has been around for longer and accomplished less. And that is not cruel. It is bare fact.
Who are the longest tenured GMs in the NHL right now?
He's got to be one of them.
I can actually look this up.
He's got to be one of them. None of the Canadian
Shovel
GMs.
Dayoff's been there forever.
Oh, yeah, okay. Sorry, one of the Canadian GMs. I think he was 2012. 2011 or 2012 with the Jets. So he's got to be one of the longest tenured.
All right, you guys want to play a game?
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, you already.
I
Adam
don't
can't
think
play.
we- I had him.
Steve's game.
Okay.
Steve's game. Adam's out. All right.
Luckily, I can't.
top
it up.
top 3. Who are your guesses, Steve?
I'm gonna say Shovel Dayoff's up there.
Correct. He is within the top 3.
Oh, I don't like the way you said that. GMs. It's gonna be. Oh, how long's Doug Armstrong been there? I'm gonna say Doug Armstrong.
Within the top
Let's
3.
go!
Well done. And one more. You're almost 3 for 3. That's very impressive.
Okay, Shovel Dayoff. That goes to show, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like only about a decade. Trying to. Okay, not the Metro. That I can think. I think it's Yarmo.
3 for 3.
Oh yeah! Oh, I'm so happy. Those are all guesses.
The longest tenured general managers in order. Doug Armstrong, 1. He was hired on July 1st, 2010. Number 2, Kevin Shovel Dayoff, who was hired on June 8th, 2011. And then number 3, Jarmo Kekalainen, who was hired on February 13th, 2013.
Narrowly edging out Jim Nill by, what is that, 6 weeks?
Yeah,
Yeah.
couple weeks later, Jim Nill was hired in April of 2013, followed by Brian McClellan a year later in May of 2014, and then rounding out the top 6 there's Don Sweeney, 2015. Boston Bruins May hired him.
All but 7 GMs in the NHL were hired May 8th, 2018 or later.
Yeah.
That's how hard it is to keep your job in the NHL.
so
And
much
Yarmo's had it
turnover.
since 2013, bro.
Yeah, this is a rare thing, sticking around for this long.
He's coming up on 11 years.
Yeah.
Guys, it's time. Like, I don't think I'm being unreasonable or mean about this. Like, that's
Especially with those other 2 general managers who are more tenured than him have at least seen some success.
Yeah.
Winnipeg, not so much, but at least there's been something, and you can see the pieces there. and
they
you
were
can
in the
see
Final Four.
Really competitive
Well,
team.
and Nill and McClellan, one's got a cup, one's got a finals appearance, and
Exactly.
a couple of Western Conference finals
Yeah,
appearances.
Don Sweeney's been like, you can't complain about that. Doug
President's
Armstrong, like
Trophy.
you said,
People
yeah,
are going to
Blake
roll
has
their
built
eyes,
a-
but President's Trophy.
Rob
Yeah.
Blake's built a really good team with his staff in LA. Like
Yeah.
Don Waddell, obviously, I'm a huge fan.
Lou Lamoriello.
Kekalainen has done nothing compared to his peers, and he still has a job.
Come on. Like, guys, what are we doing? What are we doing here?
And then
Like,
there's
I don't
Ken
think,
Holland.
I don't think we're being mean.
I think
Like,
you got to play I think you also have to play into the fact that, sometimes as an owner, there's a human element, right? This is a family-run operation, and they might just really like these guys, and it's probably very difficult to have to go in and say to your friends that you've worked with for a decade, this isn't working, guys. This is your philosophy doesn't work.
You don't have any loyalty to the fans?
I think you do, but Steve, come on.
Well,
I think the fans are nameless and faceless in comparison to the one-on-one human being that you'd know. And I think anybody,
Yeah.
if you're being honest about it, would be like, this is very difficult and I would prefer not to do this.
Adam, that's fine and lovely and very kind. Your team will continue to suck ass.
Yeah, but also
I know, but it's also, but you can understand.
yeah. Take a second to appreciate that there's a human on the other end.
Yeah, you're
And
not
it's
even
just-
acknowledging
it's not-
that point.
You didn't say
Well,
not
then no one
NHL
should lose their
24.
job ever.
I know. Well, I know that. And I think
Why would Shanahan do that to Dubas?
also keep in mind, if you were the ownership group, and maybe you're not as into hockey as we are, like maybe they just watch.
Oh, you
They go,
bought
hey,
the-
we got some big trades, and
bought the wrong thing.
we brought in these really good players, and yeah, they hired the wrong coach, and that turned out to be a disaster. But they look at the great players they brought in, so I could see how maybe this hasn't happened yet. It certainly felt like this summer that Jarmo and JD were playing for their lives here, and in the trades that they made, and then they goofed it by hiring Babs, and now they're goofing it up themselves. You're right. Can't call up Kent Johnson if the general manager won't let you.
How do you trust somebody's decision making after that Babcock stuff? Like,
I don't know.
I'd be out.
I don't know.
I'd be like, that's it. Like, I can't trust you to make the right decision with the franchise when you made one of the biggest blunders we've seen.
But Jesse, you've known him for a long time. So.
Out of humans, like
Humans don't
emotions don't matter.
No.
Well, they don't in
No.
sports. Look at the Vegas Golden Knights. They just won the cup. But I think at the end of the day, I could see why they're still there. It's just it's not serving the Blue Jackets. Like, this is a community that is sports mad and used to winning. There's a lot of college campuses just down the way with some pretty big teams, and I don't pay a ton of attention to the NCAA, but this is a group of fans that expect to win, and I think that at a certain point you kind of have to be like, when are we delivering on this promise?
No, but they
And
understand that people are people. It's fine. Keep being bad. Hey, everyone listening to the show, I'm sure you're nice.
Go get Eric Tulsky.
Yeah,
Go get Eric Tulsky.
No. You're nice. Go in and ask for a promotion tomorrow. And when they
is good.
ask you why, just say, you're cool. You're a nice guy. You're a nice girl. You're a pal. you have knee slappers. You bring in coffee and donuts. You're just stellar.
It's
And I
called the
bet
personality hires.
your enormous boss, your enormous corporate boss will be like, you know what? I'm going to bring you on for 11 years of nothing. Just because you're fucking great. It's not going to happen. I promise you.
Right.
It's not going to fucking happen. Wouldn't it be great if it did? Wouldn't it be? Shouldn't that be how the world goes around?
Listen, I would love to
we're
have
all
nothing
nice.
to
No,
pay
it's not
attention.
Steve, what you're describing happens all the time in business.
Yeah.
Where people just hire people because they know them.
Jesse, there's a bunch of people. No. Yes.
And
Yes.
because they're nice people.
Is that a clever thing to do?
No, but you don't act like that's not how businesses run all the time.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know. No. But what I'm saying, like, wouldn't you stop liking someone if you fucking suck for 11 years?
No, they could be your friend. You could really
Well,
like
then
them.
your team stinks.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. And that's how you get to certain places where your operations are poorly run.
We need term limits on GMs.
Like presidents,
Yes.
like Supreme Court people.
Yeah.
No, those Supreme Courts you
No.
until you're
I like
dead,
how
right?
we were like, you know what? Term limits for presidents. Anything else?
No.
No.
No, all the other
I think we're good. No, Supreme Court, you can be for half a century.
yeah.
And
you could die there. Yeah.
You could die there, and Congress also. And general manager of the Columbus Blue Jackets. I think Teflon, Supreme Court Justice, Congress, general manager of the Columbus Blue Jackets.
I think we solved it.
That's it.
There it is.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve. Saw you looking at your phone there. Are you looking up ways to be healthy every day?
How did you know?
Jesse might have a recommendation. You don't need to look at your phone. Just look at Jesse.
AG1.
Oh.
AG1. Take it every day. I take it every morning.
Why?
Because
Why?
it is so good for me and my gut health. Like that's what I aim for is you getting all your vitamins and nutrients so you don't need to worry about getting it in other ways. Like you can just take your AG1 every day and you're like, that's out of the way. I woke up and there, it's done. And then also like your gut biomes, they feel better when you
Wow.
take AG1.
And the other thing, let the audience in on, you were actually 5'7" when you started doing the show.
it's crazy.
That's not true. AG1 does
5'7".
not make you taller.
Oh,
No.
that's the only.
Does it
thing
make you
doesn't-
greener?
In a way, yes.
Yes.
Because the drink is green. It is a little green powder, and I have the little AG1 container it comes in. Then you take a little scoop, and it's all measured there for you. And you put in your AG1 bottle, and you fill up your AG1 bottle at 8 to 12 ounces. You get right in the middle there. I like the 10 ounces. I like to aim it perfect every day when I'm getting the water from the sink, and then I drink it. I shake it, and then I drink it.
AG1
That's
supports
the
your
routine.
immune health. It's part of your morning ritual, as Jesse said. It's a foundational nutritional supplement. Maybe it'll help you stop getting sick like me.
It will.
I
It does.
I sure hope so.
It does. Immune support is a part of it.
If you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1. You got to try AG1. Try a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2.
Whoa,
Okay.
that's so many letters and numbers.
And 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/STP. That is drinkag1.com/STP. Check it out. Guys, have you ever stopped to consider the places your butt has been? The magical, incredible places that your butt has been.
My butt was in 3 countries this past week.
There you go. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And you went to events and your butt was at all of them. All the great things that you've had happen in your life, your butt's been a part of it. And that's why we want to plant your butt in the best seats with SeatGeek.
Way.
With over 28 million downloads, 70,000 events every single day.
Wow.
You just get on your phone and buy your tickets. It's easy.
That's all you do.
I found Raptor tickets for more than 50% off the other day on SeatGeek. They were like 70% discounted
actually
off
amazing.
of like the actual ticket price.
I can't believe you got a discount on anything in Toronto. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
And
great.
now you have a place to put your bum.
And listen, if you want to use our code, you can. SDP for $20 off tickets at SeatGeek. That's $20 off your first purchase with the promo code what?
Dangle.
No. SDP. SDP, Steve.
He just said it.
Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app. It's SDP. Moving on, the Edmonton Oilers. It's funny that you brought up James Reimer yesterday when we talked about potential goaltenders because Frank Saravalli brought him up.
No way.
And said, you know,
I'm so fucking smart.
if you want a low-cost option. Another one that came up, and I thought you guys would find this interesting, is Mackenzie Blackwood in the Sharks system.
Of course.
And the interesting thing is if the Oilers are willing to swallow it, because they would have to figure it out, Jack Campbell's salary could be afforded by the San Jose Sharks. Now, that does limit your ability to make trades at the trade deadline because I'm assuming a first-round pick is a guaranteed.
At least. And you have to protect it because you're very not in a playoff spot right now. And I mean, okay, you're talking about Blackwood going from the San Jose Sharks, but he's going from the San Jose Sharks to the San Jose Sharks, but they score.
Yeah.
So, like, he would at least get goal support. Remember that stat? Where, like, during that crazy losing streak, he never got more than 3 goals in support or something like that. It makes sense. I said Reimer because, like, I'm not just saying resume or anything. Like, I've seen him play, and I actually think he could succeed in their, putting it politely, chaotic defensive style. You could get both.
Yeah, you could.
I'm sure it wouldn't cost you the sun and the moon, but I mean, you have Stuart Skinner, so maybe you shouldn't. Blackwood Skinner, that could be something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Reimer Skinner.
Yeah.
I can't see them getting rid of Campbell.
Well, I don't know how they're going to get out from under that deal.
Jesse, can you on Cap Friendly look up a Jack Campbell buyout?
Jack Campbell buyout.
Yes.
That's going to be expensive.
Did you see he had a shutout last night?
Yes, he did.
In the A, yes.
Actually, thank you for bringing that up, Jesse.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for
You're
bringing
welcome.
that up. I want to look down the barrel of the camera. All I've heard from everybody is, you know what? I'm rooting for Jack Campbell to get out of this. I'm rooting for Jack Campbell. It's getting tough to watch, you know? But when he was playing bad and goals were going in, those clips went viral. Mm-hmm. They went viral every night, every single goal he allowed. And people would go, oh, Jack. Even the ones that didn't even look like his fault. Listen, a bunch of them were stinkers, but a lot of them weren't even his fault. Last night, he gets a shutout. Crickets.
Yep.
I saw a bunch of likes, a few retweets. Where's the love? You're rooting for this guy. Where's the love? We all want to tear a guy down. We don't want to lift him up when it looks like he's finally got it together and he's achieving what the Oilers set out to do. If you're cheering for Jack Campbell, prove it and be loud and proud about that shutout that he got last night. I'm sick of this.
I think
I'm sick of the. I'm sick of the fake
human nature?
No, there's a bunch of
I'm sick
Twitter
of the
jerks
fake-
who every time he had a bad start in the AHL, they would post the save percentage, be like, "Look, you had a
Because that's the more salacious story. That's human nature.
yeah."
though.
and
No,
we're
I
saying
know,
that
but it's-
you're a jerk for being that guy.
It's shabby.
You guys will find there's a lot of jerks out there.
Yeah, and we're saying they're jerks.
I think
Like you were happy to tear the guy down, and then he got a shutout, and I didn't hear anything.
I think because the fall is a fascinating thing. There's no way around it. The fall from grace is fascinating. And I think that what kind of highlights am I going to show from a shutout? Also, there were no games last night, so hockey Twitter kind of took a night off.
I guess.
But
No, it should be more prominent.
It should have
He's
been the one thing they were talking
going
about.
on.
Yeah.
I also can't fault people for going, I don't believe it yet.
Yeah, but I didn't even see anyone go, yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. But because the second he allowed a bad goal in the AHL, they went, ha! See? Told you. Bullshit. He stinks.
So
he gets a shutout,
I have
and they're
said
like, I'm
multiple
not
times
sure.
on this show.
I'm not convinced.
No, the
I have
thing
said
where
multiple times on this show that I am rooting for Jack Campbell, and I am. I
Yes.
loved him here.
I believe you.
Yeah.
And do I need to post highlights every time he does something?
No,
well?
the
You
thing
know what? Yes.
where you
No.
where you're only dumping on him is like that's unproductive and you're an asshole.
Fair.
If it just every time he sucks, you only post about that, and then when he's good, you're silent. You're an asshole.
Yeah, I think you got to be as loud about his accomplishments as you were about his failures. Is all I'm saying. And am I a little protective of Jack still? Possibly.
Of course.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Listen, that guy broke a winning streak record that was like 50 years old.
He won 11 straight games.
And also was just a lovely person and great in the community. We love Jack Campbell here. Love him. Always will. So of course rooting for the guy. I wanted to get clarity on that.
No.
I think, people will shame other people for going like, I can't believe that that you can watch this or whatever. And I just feel like, okay, yeah, for sure. A fall from grace is fascinating, but I needed to clarify what you meant.
Yeah.
Because it's also not my job as a human being to just be like, hey, I have a job and kids and all these other things. What's Jack Campbell up to in the AHL
No,
today?
I agree. If you posted it going earnestly, oh, this is terrible. Like, yeah, I'm not going to rip on you for it.
But you're not going like, double fuck you,
Yeah.
Jack, and
Yeah.
like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you got a shutout, man. Like, let's be loud about it. I got this platform. Campbell got a shutout. Let's fucking go, Jack. That's crazy. Woo! There you go.
You're welcome.
That's all I wanted to say on my platform. Our platform.
You're welcome for bringing that up.
Thank you.
You know what?
What were
Jesse
we
Blake.
talking about? I don't remember.
Jesse Blake.
No, what I actually besides that, what I wanted to bring up was somebody who's you've been rooting for a long time, and I think the ship has passed to acquire him from other teams. Connor Ingram.
Connor Ingram,
Connor
baby.
Ingram so far this season is 6-2. So without Connor Ingram starting in goal, the Arizona Coyotes are 2-6-2 this season. With Connor Ingram, they're 6-2. He has a 9-11, and he's only making $1.9 million for the next 3 seasons. Last year was the year to acquire Connor Ingram, and I think this year he's proven that he's good.
Oh, they're done. They're
And
done.
they've got a goalie.
Like, maybe they might sell off a piece or two here or there, but like the Coyotes are on the way up.
Yeah, so I'm no Frank Saravalli, but yesterday, because I saw like, oh, these are the goalies that Edmonton can be looking to acquire, and I was like, okay, Connor Ingram, somebody we've talked about in the past. What's the contract? How's he been playing? Is that something that they can go acquire? And no, Arizona should keep this goalie because this year he's playing spectacularly, and when he's in net, they're 6-2, and that's a really good record.
Has Vejmelka struggled?
Adam's got something.
I don't want to talk about Vejmelka. I don't give a shit. Here's what I want to talk about.
News just happened?
I don't care. I don't care.
What happened?
Here, I've been dying to bring this up, and I've been putting my hand up because Jesse brought up the Coyotes.
Okay.
I was
And now
looking the
I'm
other way.
ready.
I'm sorry.
Now I'm ready.
all right.
Leafs Nation, you were gaslit. You were gaslit on several players. I'm sorry to tell you this.
Oh,
Edmonton, I'm sorry to tell you this. Cody Ceci was not good in Toronto, no matter what Kyle Dubas says. And I know there are people that are reasonable Kyle Dubas fans, myself included. And then there are those who are biblical Kyle Dubas fans where Dubas is a religion. And no matter what he says, he's right. And that's also not true. Cody Ceci stunk in Toronto and then was rewarded with a good contract in Edmonton because he did play well in Edmonton. He did, in his first season, play well there. Okay? Fair. Alex Kerfoot was never that good here. But we were told he had to be because he was the only piece remaining from the tragic Nazem Kadri deal that did need to happen, but perhaps not with these players involved. Okay? I want you to know that he signed a 2-year deal with Arizona, and it's not. I'm not rooting for the downfall of Alex Kerfoot.
yeah. I was about to go off.
But I do want to say you were right. Every time you complained about him, what you saw in my mind, because I complained about him a lot, and I'm going to own that, you were probably right. This is a player who became the security blanket for Keefe and Dubas, just like Justin Hall did.
Busy nothing.
And they were put into positions where they had to compete at levels that they couldn't achieve.
He's
and
a
this
good
is a player,
defensive player, but like at the money he's making, you got to score.
100%. To me, Alex Kerfoot is a really good $2 million fourth liner because he can play great defense. And you're not afraid when he's on the ice. You're not afraid of him yard sailing anything. I can't remember a time where he was ever crazy bad. But what I can remember is Tavares, Nylander, Kerfoot. Or Matthews, Marner, Kerfoot.
What's he got, Adam?
I believe he's got a goal and
oh, he scored.
Yeah, he did score.
Let's
he scored
go.
4 assists, I believe.
4 assists, yeah.
Oof.
And that's a good team, by the way, the Coyotes.
Yes.
It's a good team this year. They can score goals this year.
Could use a little bit of finishing.
I just wanted to triple check, but I'm pretty sure he's been playing on the fourth line all year with Liam O'Brien,
which is probably where
Yeah.
honestly, it's probably where he's going to be at his best.
Dude, he played some games on the top line, did he not? Like at least in the preseason?
Yeah, he's been playing on the fourth line lately.
And again, I like Alex Kerfoot, the player, when he's in a position where he should be. Should he be playing center over Logan Cooley? No. Nick Bustad? No. Nick Schmaltz? No. So of course he's on the fourth line
For $3.5 million.
Listen, that's not. If somebody offered me $3.5 million to play for the Coyotes this year, I would also sign the contract.
How about Zucker with the cushy little job playing next to Logan Cooley?
Yeah. Sweet.
That's not a bad way to revive your career.
I'm not. This is not a shot at Alex Kerfoot. This is a shot at everybody who said no, don't believe what your eyeballs tell you about this player. I watched enough hockey. I'm sorry. I'm done with this. I love using numbers as an adjunct to watching the game.
What is upsetting
every time
you?
I complained about this player, I had people going, but the numbers.
What is upsetting you specifically?
I hate being lied to. I know that this team lied to me. They signed a player who had potential to too much money because Dubas signed a few players in that era to too much money. Andreas Johnsson, Kasperi Kapanen, a few other maybe bigger names as well, just to a little too much money. And basically with Kerfoot, they had to make it work because he wasn't worth the money.
When the Leafs had to protect a lead in the third period, I didn't mind seeing him on the ice. When they needed a goal, I'm like, literally every time I saw the number 15, I saw red mist. I'm like, get him off the fucking ice.
Yes.
He did give us a fun overtime winner.
He did. Listen.
But for the most part.
So did Yannick Perreault back in the day. But Yannick Perreault.
Corey Cross.
Yeah. Guys that probably shouldn't be out there in overtime. Yannick Perreault was one of them, although he did win a mean faceoff.
David Kampf before David Kampf.
I get annoyed because in Toronto, for some reason, guys take on like otherworldly status that don't deserve it. Mm-hmm. And Hall and Kerfoot became that. They became two of the most divisive players we've seen in this era of the Leafs. And both of them are apparently amazing people. So this is not a personal hit. But I really can't stand that the previous administration tried to tell me that this player was great. No, what happened was you signed him to too much money and you had to eat it. That's what it was. You were trying to tell me that you had shit that nobody else had, which you probably do, and that this was a great player and that I'm just too fucking dumb to see it. That shit pisses me off.
I mean, you're right by accident.
Yeah, by accident. But I'm not that dumb. I'm a little dumb. A lot dumb. But I'm not dumb. I could see when the player doesn't fit. Alongside Tavares and Nylander.
This is very anecdotal. But talking to people about the Leafs, like just in person, like just meeting them, they had strong opinions about like everybody. Kerfoot was always with a question mark.
What do you mean?
They're always like, so like, what's he doing on the top line?
Like I know, or like I'm supposed to like it. What don't I get?
Well, because they'd watch and they'd be like, "What am I missing? Mm-hmm. Like what don't I get?" And I'm like, "Oh no, you're right. The confusion is valid. He shouldn't be up there." Okay, so like, why is he up there? And I'd try to talk about the good and everything. It was always with a question mark. You go to Sweden, everyone had a like vehement belief about everyone in that lineup. But every time I met Leaf fans, like during his tenure with the Leafs, it was always with a question mark. What's up there?
Yeah.
Why is he?
Well, and I think it's because the Leafs did put off an air and it pissed other franchises off. Ask people who like Drew who don't cheer for the Leafs. our general manager and his group are smarter than yours.
Do you think that the Leafs thought they had delicious farts? No? That's a lie.
Kerfoot was a good Av, though. Like, that's... No, he
No,
wasn't.
he wasn't. He wasn't.
No, you were lied to, Jesse. This is what Adam's trying to tell you.
trying to tell you.
You were gaslit.
I was told he was a great Colorado Avalanche.
No!
No.
I was told he had a high ceiling potential, and maybe he did. He had great wheels. He can skate like the wind.
He was young, too, when they got him.
for sure.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
I understand all the reason behind it, but just admit that you made a mistake and move on. But they refused. And you know, it's funny with Dubas, sometimes, and everybody has this, there was a stubbornness to move off of a point. He made a lot of great decisions, unbelievable calls, finding Jack Campbell as a throw into a trade, like really, really brilliant, and you know, getting Tavares and all the other things that he did. But there were certain players who was like, no, I don't care what you say. Process. I'd absolutely pull Blake Snell in the 6th inning of a game that we're winning, and he's pitching his fucking balls off.
I hated that quote because he didn't need to say it.
No, but that's how he was. And so the stubbornness with Kyle Dubas on a couple of things, man, that shit drove me crazy. I'm sure I'd drive him nuts too.
Adam, I think it's time.
What is it?
Yeah, you owe Dubas a bit of an apology.
Okay. I'm right. Listen, I'll apologize.
I
For
think
what?
it's time.
What is it?
Well, it was something that he was very stubborn about.
Kyle Dubas was stubborn about?
He was stubborn. He was very stubborn,
Mm-hmm.
and it hurt the Leafs. It did. But he was right. The Oilers tried to...
No, fuck.
the Oilers
I'm not moving on.
tried to acquire Zach Hyman
Yep.
from the Leafs
Yep.
so that they could sign him to an 8-year deal instead of a 7. And it would have been at a lower cap. It would have saved them something in the neighborhood of $350,000 to $400,000 a year.
Okay.
Dubas wanted a 2nd-round pick.
Uh-huh.
The Oilers only wanted to pay a 6th. And I'm here to tell you, saving about $400,000 on the cap every year for 8 years is worth a 2nd-round pick. And how bad do you think the Oilers wish they had done that? How bad do you think they wish they had that little bit of cap space right now?
I don't think $300,000 helps them right now.
Oh, yeah?
I don't.
Oh, yeah?
$300,000 helped them.
Oh,
out.
yeah?
I don't
It
think
doesn't
that
help them
if
at all.
I was it Ken Holland, because Ken Holland was
Holland.
2019.
It was Holland.
Yeah, so he would have made
He
that.
was
deal.
brand new there.
Holland.
I wouldn't have sent the 2nd-round pick. I think that's a little rich.
No, I agree. At the time, no, it was after 2020. But I agree that I probably wouldn't have paid it at the time.
Yeah, no.
However, in hindsight, I bet they wish they had.
No, I don't think so.
that
I don't think so. I don't think they would have.
And in fact, the new guy who takes over is probably going to be happy that they didn't have that extra year because it'll give him more flexibility, right?
Yeah.
Long term. Zach Hyman's been amazing, but you know, players of that ilk tend to fall off.
Also, a 2nd-round pick is a big pick.
That's a gigantic
That's not
pick.
insignificant.
Well, $400,000 on the cap is not insignificant. And I
No,
bet wish
what they
had.
should have done. Listen, what they should have done was they should have worked it to like a 4th.
Yeah.
That's what they should have done.
But they
Split the
wouldn't
fucking
negotiate.
difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dubas, in his stubborn ways, did the beep beep boop beep boop boop beep.
Yeah.
And he came up with 2nd-round pick
Yeah.
to save them that much cap space. And the Oilers said, well, we're not doing that. And Dubas said, this is my price.
So what did he get?
Nothing.
Right. And he lost Zach Hyman too.
Well, he didn't care
And you
because
know
he
what?
knew he was
Had
going
he
to
had
the
any
Penguins anyway,
foresight,
but what?
had he had any foresight and moved on from $3.5 million from Alex Kerfoot, he might have been able to retain Zach Hyman.
Oh, Adam, you're correct. You're totally correct. But the price was a 2nd because it should have been, and he was right. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know about any of that.
Oh, I wish they had gotten a
Listen.
6 too, and I am choosing
Jesse.
to still be bitter about it, but I'm also choosing to be a hypocrite against
Jesse,
myself.
am I right?
About what?
Dubas should have got something for it instead of nothing.
Yeah, but nobody should have paid a 2nd.
No, that
I don't know what you're asking for.
Yeah, the thing is, like, when you start, here's the thing. You obviously, when you do a negotiation, you want to start at a big number, and they're going to start at a little number, and then you come together. So
What is that called?
What do you mean? The type of
That thing you're describing.
negotiation.
Maybe in a negotiation you should negotiate.
And
not just have a hard line.
Least
And then if you don't get it, you walk away. Maybe you should actually talk to the other guy and negotiate something in a negotiation. Kyle Dubas.
You know, Drew, if you turned off the lights in here, it would still be bright. Because I'm going to keep that gaslight going for you, boys.
You know what?
He was right.
I'm sure I'm going to get barraged by people who are like, actually, Alex Kerfoot was good. I'm sorry. He was okay. He was okay. And you know what? Had they moved off him earlier, they might have been able to do something else and bring in a more useful player for what they needed.
No.
It's just funny that you've been waiting 40 years to say that.
I have been.
Like, I think
Man, that fucking drove
Adam.
me crazy for years, but I kept my mouth shut.
If anyone says he was good and you're wrong, here, let me clear it up. Let me clear it up. No, he wasn't. Okay, thanks. Okay.
He was okay, though. He's okay.
Sure.
Yeah, he was okay.
It's the National OK League.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I want to shout out Shayna Goldman. Shayna Goldman for the Athletic.
Okay, yeah, sure. Sorry. I just wanted to say that. Sorry.
Shayna put together, and I love this stuff, when there's no games on, it's like, who's going to drop a fucking spicy article?
Ooh.
And Shayna dropped a spicy one. And the headline is it time for the Islanders to move? Or no, hold on. Let me just read. Let me read it. Lou Lamoriello is holding the Islanders back. Is there a better way forward?
Fuego.
Now she
that is
goes on-
picante. Let's go.
Let's talk about the Islanders' last 10 games. And I'm not going to read everything from this article because I want you to really check it out. But they are 2-4-4.
Ooh.
Which is, if you're keeping track at home, just a couple of points more than the 2-7-0 Oilers. 2-7-0 looks worse, but that's only 2 points more.
That is on the bad side of mediocre.
So
Yeah, no, that math's wrong.
Yeah, wait. What?
4 points.
yeah, 4 points.
2, 4, and 4?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
that's 8 points. That's a difference. My mouth sucks. Shayna's doesn't though,
I
and
just
that's
saw
what's
Drew's
important.
confused.
Yeah, no, I looked
funny.
up and Drew's like, I'm like, yeah.
Between staying up all night coughing and the Tylenol daytime, I'm a little bit woo today. A little wooey. All right. Now, Lamoriello, I'm going to quote directly here because it's better to quote Shayna directly because I don't want to fuck up anything else.
Just guess. Just wing that shit.
Lamoriello's missteps started with an overinvestment in the team's gritty players, which essentially left the Islanders with 2 fourth lines. It continued with jumping at players who had uncharacteristic career years and overspending on long-term deals. JG Pajot and Bo Horvat have been brought up in that conversation.
Interesting.
And I think that's fascinating. And then she goes on to kind of talk about how everybody on this team has some sort of modified no trade list, and they're all on extremely long-term deals. And so what the Islanders are essentially doing is locking themselves into mediocrity. She said that one of the best decisions they made, and we've talked about this, was right at the beginning when they hired Barry Trotz. And when they did let go of Barry Trotz, everybody was like, why are they letting go of Barry Trotz? They've had a ton of success. This is bizarre. Same thing with the Capitals. And what's happened since they let go of Barry Trotz? Same with the Capitals.
Haven't been quite as good.
Now, underratedly, is Lane Lambert's job at risk here? I think so.
A little bit.
Really? Already?
I think so. Bo Horvat, when they brought him in, he was shooting at 22%.
Which is completely unsustainable.
Can't do it. I think the highest sustainable shooting percentages are like Ovechkin with 18%.
Really good players can maintain like a mid-teens, high teens.
Look at Jesse. Can you bring that cap friendly page up? Let's look at the players on more than 2-year deals. Barzal, Horvat, Anders Lee, JG Pajot, Pierre Engvall, Casey Cizikas has 4 more years at that number. That's wild.
Oh boy.
Ryan Pollock and Adam Pellich. By the way, I think those are 2 great contracts and great players. Scott Mayfield, for some reason, at 31 years old, has more than 6 years remaining on his deal. Like, why?
I wanted the Leafs to get him.
Sorokin is a great goaltender, but then you have Varlamov, who's 35 and has 4 more years.
Dude, that's crazy.
Guys,
he's played well.
Well, I guess 3 more years after this one.
He's
like-
got a no trade too.
And so what happens is, like, the roster, again, you look at it and you look at Columbus' roster, you're like, it's not that bad. It's just, is there anything spectacular about it? And I don't see it.
Noah Dobson's really interesting. I like him.
you can like players, but is the roster construction great? Right? Like, this is a team that cannot score.
I want to choose my words carefully because of the conversation that we just had with Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't look at them and go, that's a bad team. I don't even look at their decisions and go, those are bad decisions. But it's just sort of a roster of players.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they've gotten away a little bit from their identity. Like, not being able to score is not an identity.
Mm-hmm.
And their identity didn't used to be we can't score. It was we don't score because we play this way.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm just like, if you just decided to score, I don't think you could. You know what I mean? They have some games where they go off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure this will get clipped when they erase a 4-0 deficit to beat the Leafs. But they just, yeah, you're right. There's a little bit of mid there. And I think having stellar goaltending, which is good and
Usually what you want.
well, yeah,
Ideal.
Lou should be praised for that. I think it masks some of their weaknesses.
What I see here is a team built a lot like the late 90s, early 2000s Devils that were so successful in the dead puck era, because you have great goaltending, great defense, offense that can't score much, but back then it didn't matter as much. We're in a different era now. You know, where goal scoring is up enormously, and you have to be able to listen. If you're not going to be the highest scoring team in the league, I get it.
You
That's
went
fine.
into the third against the Devils, and they had a 2-goal lead.
Game's over.
Just pack your shit. Just pack your shit.
Game's over. But if you're the Islanders now,
beat the traffic.
If you're the Islanders now and you go into the third down 2-0 or 3-1, pack it up.
It's going to be difficult for you to win that game.
And that's the problem, is that what I would say with Lou Lamoriello, from a very basic, now Shayna goes into much more detail, is that he is building the team that he knows.
Mm-hmm.
And it did sort of work a little bit under Barry Trotz, who has a system that's a lot better and more favorable, I think, to what Lou was trying to do than Lane Lambert does. He also has a lot more pull and respect around the league. And you're building a team for the late 90s, early 2000s that is not in that era anymore. Would the New Jersey Devils have, would that team had looked as good in the 80s when scoring was 8-5 every game? I don't think so.
We're a little different. Also, the Devils, like during those years where they were this lockdown team, actually, I believe did lead the league in offense one year.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, and
A
that's
slow year.
Oh, that's one
Yes,
thing.
it was.
When just to speak about the roster construction and how they're playing, the one thing that concerns me is the early numbers, because they sit 28th in the league in goals for. Let me just make sure I have that correct. They sit
Goals for or expected goals for?
Expected goals for. Let me see where they are. Goals for. Actual goals for. They are. Yeah, they're so that'd be 30th. They sit for goals for. They've scored 26. The only teams below them are the Washington Capitals and the San Jose Sharks. But then if you go to their goals above expected, they're right at the bottom with the Edmonton Oilers in that they've been super unlucky. They're minus 10 in their goals for above expected. So they're getting 10 less goals than they should be expected to score.
So you think there should be a regression?
No.
Oh.
Because the goals saved, goals against above expected is also minus 10. So their PDO is about 100, which means their luck is even, and that where they're playing is kind of where they are, because they're getting all of these extra saves and they're also not getting all of these extra goals. Edmonton, on the other hand, is right at the bottom in goals for above expected, where they're about a minus 9, right in the same area. But on the other side, the goals against, they're getting fucked.
Right.
So their PDO is super low, and you expect that to regress. The Islanders don't have that working towards them in terms of the numbers.
That also tracks. Like, you're like, yeah, no, I believe that they're stopping more than the average team. Yeah, no, I believe that they're scoring less than the average team. Uh-oh.
Yeah. So both of those things are happening. So there's not an expectation in the numbers that you regress back to the mean, which is unfortunate if you're an Islanders fan.
I think the thing is, though, Islanders ownership has not been great. I know there's different owners, but not been great at moving off of GMs that underperformed in previous years. So I feel for Islanders fans because, man, they had some great years.
They've been in the same building for a couple of years. That's a pretty good start.
That's a good start. And Lou did bring back an element of respectability and some success.
Oh, it went to the Final Four. They not played like the closest thing we've seen to a modern dynasty in a quarter century. They probably have a cup.
Mm-hmm.
But if ifs and buts and all that shit.
And they haven't gotten better since.
No.
So this is going to be fascinating to see what happens with this kind of going forward. Last thing before we hit the press conference, Patrik Laine has not signed.
Nope.
There are teams that are interested, obviously. Looks like right now anyway, and this could always change. Florida, Buffalo, and Detroit are the key ones. But Emily Kaplan on the drop with Greg Wyshynski and Art Orcal from ESPN said, I'm told that Kane wanted to go back to the New York Rangers. He felt really frustrated by how his hip was hampering his play last year. He wants the chance to do it again. And Chris Drury kind of said, like, whoa, pump the brakes. The cap space is going to be difficult.
Yeah.
But listen, so are the Florida Panthers, who are shockingly right up against it. It's going to be difficult there, too.
It's not that shocking. They spend a shitload of money.
I know, but what I'm saying is that, like, New York couldn't make it work, but Florida somehow can.
Well, like, yeah, that is pretty funny. It's just every summer. Where'd this guy say? Oh, Florida, you don't say. I guess they just have 140 mil, like just sitting around.
Yeah. To me, just go to Buffalo. Go to your hometown. Young
That'd
team,
be cool.
Fun team. I think that'd be a great story.
And we don't know.
Like, don't
how
go to
long.
Detroit. No offense to Red Wings fans, but don't go to Detroit when Buffalo's right there.
Yeah, we don't know how long Tage Thompson's going to be out, but it's going to be not an insignificant amount of time. Like, it's going to be a little bit. It's going to be a while. So, like, they could use somebody to just pad the stats a little.
Does that make
Tage
it
is gonna
more
be out.
or less likely that he?
I think less likely.
Yeah.
You know, but I think if he looks at it as an opportunity, then it's more likely. You know, Tage is out. I can fit somewhere on the wing and feed some goals that he would have maybe siphoned off. I don't know. There's more ice time available is what I'm trying to say.
Reuniting with the Brinket on a team that a lot of Blackhawks fans hate is kind of spicy. That's interesting.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it's going to be fascinating to see what happens with him. But come on, just do Buffalo. Do the Buffalo thing. Do it once. Just come on. You got to.
Oh, Adam, you see that boat?
What's that?
That boat in the distance?
What is it?
It's Kane going to the Leafs.
Oh, get out of here.
Sailing away.
Going to the Leafs.
I think that ship has sailed.
I don't think there was ever really.
No.
I don't think that's ever been serious.
I'm tired of it.
Wait, there's no space in the lineup.
No, I don't think so.
Who are you taking out for Kane?
I mean, listen, last year, Alex Kerfoot had that spot, and you can't take it away from him.
No.
So
I'd rather get him back at his price.
And it's do not retain.
No, it's if you hear it in the distance. There it is.
Okay.
You can barely hear it because it's so far.
I just never sensed that like the Leafs needed that. They have unbelievable playmakers. Like, remember, a couple episodes ago, and talking about
it's not priority one.
Tearing people down and building them up. I said when you were in Sweden, I want to see Mitch Marner activate a little bit more. And man, did he activate on the next game. I was like, that's exactly the Mitch Marner I want.
The first line
let's build him back up.
Was not good in the Friday game in Sweden. They were very good in the Sunday game.
Spectacular.
Hooray.
Hooray. I'm thrilled. Now, let's do the press conference, Jesse. This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Now, it is that part of the year where the sun sets early, and I'm not going to lie to you, the scary set in for me sometimes. November is a tough month. I find the 2 months I find toughest are November and March. And the reason for that is November is kind of, at least in Canada, it's like the dark in between.
Yeah.
You know, at least in the States, you got Thanksgiving weekend coming up.
The soggy months.
Yeah. And March is like, I'm waiting for summer, but it's still minus 20. So, I find that on those months, I book my therapy sessions a little bit more. I go to therapy like once a month. But that's a twice or a 3 times a month thing, just to kind of get myself out of my own head. And, if that's something you're looking for, BetterHelp is a really great option for you because they match you with somebody in 24 hours. 24 to 48, excuse me. I just want to make sure you got that right. And then, of course, you can do it over text. You can do it over video. You can do whatever you're comfortable with.
Someone actually in Sweden told me how much BetterHelp helped them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Wow. So that felt really cool to me.
It's global.
Global.
That's right. And you can try it right now. Visit BetterHelp.com/STP to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/STP. The Tim Hortons Western Canada Pond Hockey Championship is happening right around the time the World Juniors do. And this is really special, December 27th to 29th. If you're from Alberta, you've probably heard about it. It's in the grand city of Chestermere.
You used to live in Alberta.
I did.
Did you ever go to Chestermere?
I did. It's gorgeous. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Chestermere's not that far from Calgary, so.
Oh, and you like it.
I actually, you know what? Of the small towns in Canada, I think Alberta's got some of the best ones. It's very like, Chestermere is just, they're all picturesque. You could see forever. It's very flat until you hit the mountains. This tournament has over 15,000 attendees per day. It's outside, community rinks, frozen ponds, and it's basically, this is the 7th year in a row with 14 rinks, 1,000 players.
Wow.
Huge community event, and Tim Hortons is a big contributor. So it is a fundraiser with 3 local nonprofit organizations, which is Synergy, a community support organization, the local food bank, and the CWCS, Chestermere Women's Crisis Society. It's primarily for minor hockey kids to participate. So if you're a dad trying to live out your dreams, I'm sure there's some opportunities for that. But really, this is for the kids.
What if you can't skate very well? You just want to see how well you do.
They'll also be partnering with ODR Hockey Heroes for this event. So Google Tim Hortons Western Canada Pond Hockey Championship and try to be there because it is quite the spectacle.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
Now we have some candy left over from Sweden. And I want to shout out Victoria, Eric, Jasper, and Lisette from Gothenburg, Sweden.
Gotham? Batman?
Gothenburg, Sweden. A former Dutch settler colony. Did you know that?
No.
Well, now you do. That's how it started in
Thanks,
the 1600s. Anyway, they wanted you to try this chocolate bar, and I'm going to sit out because my stomach's giving me issues. But
Sorry, Adam's going to shit himself.
it's not quite that. I've got an irritable stomach.
Adam's going to fucking
It's called, Drew, give me a little close up here. Damn.
Diam?
Damn.
So
this looks like a score bar to me.
I've had this before.
Have you?
Yeah.
They've also got,
I don't remember when, but like years ago.
they look like they're sponsors of several major premier teams.
Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester. So I should have, Manchester United.
We only have one.
We only have one? No, but there's more than one bar.
Yeah, no, but I thought you were giving.
That one has that sponsorship on it too.
Oh, there, that broke off. That's for you. It looks identical to a score bar.
Yeah. I don't like score.
I love score. You're wrong.
I'm out.
You're out?
I don't like score.
Yeah, I don't like score either.
No.
You're that shit.
Not crazy about score.
This is delicious.
Okay.
It's actually really good. I think I might be wrong.
Take that shit.
It's okay. I want the next one.
The next one.
That was actually really good.
How was it bad at first and then got good?
Because I was going into it acting like I'm going to eat a score, and it was a little better, and it's kind of good.
You're stupid.
Oh, yeah. The guy shout out yesterday, Brent. Give us those ones.
All right, I want you to try this French-Swedish chocolate called Marabout. Marabout.
All right.
It's a chocolate. All right.
No,
ahead.
I think Marabout is the name of the chocolate.
And it's nougat chocolate, which would be my favorite. But again, I'm
it's
not
called
dipping.
Fransk.
Oh. Okay.
Right? Because that's Marabout as well. And these are two different ones. This is Fransk. Here, you open it.
Sure.
I'm still chewing my... Damn!
What's Twitter saying, Adam?
I'm looking at like line rushes and stuff like that for the Leafs, and it looks as though they're going to start the line that they should start.
Is this like marshmallow?
It's nougat.
Oh, shit.
By the way, I wanted to let you guys know that
That's fabulous. Wow.
things since the Leafs dropped Hall & Oates, things have not gone well for Hall & Oates. It's come out this morning that Hall & Oates are in a confidential legal battle that has led Daryl Hall to get a restraining order against John Oates. And the court issued the temporary restraining order, and it will begin in 8 days. So they are not to contact each other. So Hall & Oates, ever since the Leafs dropped them, they've fallen apart.
That's really good.
By the way, they're 77. Can you imagine being 77 and suing your partner of a lifetime?
And getting a restraining order?
What's the name of that? Dansk?
Fransk.
Fransk.
That thing's really good.
Because it's like dark chocolate, too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, ranking?
Oh, I love me some rankings.
Oh.
All right.
Okay. My wife and I split an entire bag of these yesterday.
Are these candies?
Yes, Bilar. They're gummies. I don't know what they're supposed to be in the shape of. Perhaps a rabbit. Algren's Bilar. Sveriges mest kopta bil. Which I think means Sweden's most something something. Did I tell you about the coffee menu?
No.
So Drew and I, like, the great thing about Swedish is you can understand a bunch of the words even if you don't speak Swedish. And I was like, what do you think that is on the menu? And it was warm chocolate.
Oh, you did tell us.
You might have. I think
did
you've
I?
told that 4 times now.
Okay, cool. Well, there's
Four
number 5.
straight episodes. I think we've heard that.
Really?
Yeah, if you've told
Did I
it
tell it while I was there?
every episode, including the one you were there.
I'm jet lagged.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're a little.
Last.
They're kind of hard, right? Why don't you like it?
That's disgusting. Steve.
Jesse does not like
Steve, no.
various miscoptabil.
Adam, try that one.
No, thanks.
Oh, okay.
You want various miscoptabil?
No, I also think this is. Can we move on quickly because this is we gotta get those rankings.
Yeah, all right. Let's
Get those rankings.
Get the other two. Steve.
Here, this is Coco, also a Marabou brand.
2,
Ah,
3. All right, let's go.
Oh, okay. Goddamn. Jeez.
I'm speeding this up.
Rushing me and shit. Oh, I just got chocolate in my eye. Did you see that? Here you go. Oh,
I just took the other half.
what is this?
Nope.
It looks crispy, but it's
no.
not.
Why no? Why no?
Coconut.
Coconut.
Oh,
Oh, you don't like
it's
I
coconut?
don't like coconut in things.
You don't like coconut and things?
I don't like when they're in things.
What's
Like I'll
that
drink
mean?
coconut water, but I don't like coconut chocolates. I don't like coconut flavored stuff.
Yeah.
So you're
But,
like,
like, actual coconut is delicious, but
went down the wrong way.
goes above this one. Last one.
I think that's just chocolate, which is going to be good.
Oh, yeah.
Because
No.
European chocolate's the best.
Read the middle.
What does it say? Milk chocolate.
Yeah.
Milk chocolate. What
Milk.
could that be?
I don't know, Steve. Did you see anything with that you want to mention about your time in Sweden?
That's like this one time we went to a coffee place. We got warm chocolate.
Did you get it though?
No.
Oh, you didn't get it.
Oh,
Why?
you didn't
Okay,
get
you
it.
have to
Oh.
get
I
it.
simply read it and was proud.
Oh, I would love to know what hot chocolate in Sweden tastes like. It's way better than here.
I had that North American phenomenon, though, where I was temporarily not lactose intolerant.
This is great milk chocolate. Fabulous.
I've already had this. I'm going to eat it anyway.
Fabulous.
Absolutely
All right.
spectacular. This shit on s'mores. Oh,
Oh, yeah. I got my ranking.
let's rank them.
1. No, I'll start from the bottom.
Okay.
5. This nonsense. This Bilar candy. 5. Garbage. This thing called Coco. Marabou. From Marabou brand, I guess. Decent. I don't like coconut, but if you like coconut, you'll very much enjoy this because it's rich with coconut. Number 3. Francs. The nougat. Very nougaty. Marshmallowy texture. Pretty good. Milk chocolate. Great milk chocolate. Just tastes like milk chocolate, except a kind of premium because it's better than Canadian and American milk chocolate. It's really rich in cocoa.
I didn't bring it, but they also have that with digestive cookie in it. Adds a little crunch.
Ooh.
Really great.
That sounds delicious. And number 1 on my ranking, the one I went into it anticipating it'd be awful, and I took my first bite and I was like, that's garbage. But then I kept eating it and I'm like, this is actually really good. The Dime! Damn! The Dame is really good. Tastes kind of like a better, if Scores were good, is what it tastes like.
Scores
It's
are
fabulous.
disappointing. They are disappointing.
Very
How
good.
dare the both.
That's my top 5.
Am I doing it too?
Go ahead.
Okay, I
Then
don't
we'll
like.
get to questions.
I don't like.
This is terrible.
I did mine quick. Do yours quick.
Okay.
Terrible.
I don't like dark chocolate, so the France for me is last. It's not bad. Jesse's right. These are kind of disappointing. The
You ate a whole bag of them,
the Bullard, yeah.
and you didn't consider that when you were eating the
tired.
whole bag.
Oh,
Are you high?
I didn't say they were bad. Cocoa is gonna go number 2. It's just sort of mid. Oh man, I'm gonna say milk chocolate number 2, and
Hey, Dime
number
wins.
1.
Damn.
Damn.
If you're ever in Europe, go try a Dime. That's Steve and I's number 1. There you
Yeah.
go. All right.
It's like when John. Have you seen that clip with Don Cheadle on Kevin Hart's podcast? He's like, and I'm 55, and he goes, damn! And Don Cheadle's really upset about it.
He was not happy.
All right. This is from Di Fulio.
Mm-hmm.
Regarding the panettone slander, The best way to eat it is to dip it in your espresso. The same with biscotti. Highly recommended. Also, if you're going to eat any panettone and you are a chocolate lover, chocolate flavor is amazing.
In my family, the way we eat panettone is we give it to someone else. And then at the next holiday, they give it back to you because they forgot that you gave it to them.
Yeah.
And then at the next holiday, you do it again.
If you spill anything on the floor over Christmas, just drop the panettone on it. It'll just soak it all up and
Yeah.
you can throw it out then.
Yeah. It's great. Yeah. You run out of paper towel.
Great
little bit of
sponge.
Panettone right there.
Yeah. Don't get it. Don't get it. Never got it.
Don't get it, or get it 5 times from the same relative.
Also, I want to ask you, why is it? It's like Italians, like they make the best coffee in the world, or some of the best coffee. Some of the best coffee in the world is Middle Eastern coffee. Is why I gotta give big shout outs. Okay, but Italians make beautiful espressos and cappuccinos and stuff like that. Why
sound like
do I want to dip something in it all the time? Can you imagine, like, panettone is this cake that's already dry? It's pre-dry, it's pre-stale cake. And then, so if it's not falling apart in your hands, do you pick it up with your fingers and dip it in the coffee, or do you do it with the fork? And if you then do it with a fork, are there little flakes of cake just floating around in your coffee?
Yeah.
Seems like a lot of work to drink a coffee.
We're a culture built on sauce.
Ah,
right?
yeah.
Would you ever just have pasta? No. Put a little sauce? Oh. Right?
Yeah.
We use the coffee as sauce.
Okay. All right.
We have do you understand? Pizza has sauce, and then we have sauce that you can dip your sauce bread into.
Do real Italian pizzerias have dipping? I don't think they do. That's a North American thing.
I don't know, because I'm a dirty
you're saying,
Canadian
no,
Italian.
When I was in Italy,
That's a great point.
they didn't dip. You don't dip. I did see pizza come out with an egg in the middle of it.
I believe
Italians will do that, and then it like cooks an egg, and apparently it's very, very, very good. I was like 12, so I was like, I don't think so. I want my cheese and pepperoni. But yeah, I wasn't very cultured when I was 12. Weird.
Yeah.
I'd like
you got
to
a
go back.
distaste for nachos, and you stuck with that though.
Well, I was right about that. I
don't know.
Although we did go to a Shoeless Joe's, and they were like, "Hey, we hear you don't like nachos," and the nachos were okay.
Because they're like,
were really
we don't,
good.
that thing about using old ingredients, we don't do that here at Shoeless Joe's.
That's right. That's right. But other people do. Don't tell me they didn't.
You ever have a friend who you really love, and they say something in a group setting that like makes you uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Like, I don't like that the world knows my friend doesn't like nachos.
Me too.
Like, I feel uncomfortable.
It's weird.
You're my friend I have to excuse.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, he's great. It's ask him about music or something. Don't talk to him about nachos. Like, you ever have someone abruptly change the subject when politics come up? That's you with nachos.
Ask him about
What about the weather?
No, the Jessica Simpson biography.
That is a great biography, and you should read it.
See, that's how
fabulous.
That's how we get the conversation.
It's so good.
Adam, here, talk about nachos. No, do it.
What do you want me to say? That I don't like them again?
Whoa, Jada Pinkett, you see what she did this time? Isn't that
also
quirky?
a great story.
You guys want another
Man.
question?
I missed having a radio show based on pop culture when that was happening.
You guys want another question?
Sure.
This is from Swimmy. They said, should the NHL continue doing games in Europe during the regular season? Personally, I think Oilers-Sens game in Germany, Draisaitl over Stützle, would be fantastic.
Oh, what a great
If
idea.
so, which countries would you most like them to go?
Switzerland.
Oh, that'd be good.
They've done London, haven't they? Have they done England?
No.
I don't think for a regular season.
I don't know why they
Maybe it
haven't.
was
They should do
preseason.
that. They should do that.
They did the Kings like pretty recent.
But not a preseason. You got to do a real game. You know, British people are not going to line up for something that doesn't matter.
I think the problem is it's very difficult, right? Like we were talking before the show. What show was it? 32 Thoughts was talking about like Western Conference teams are worried about getting Patrick Kane because of all the travel.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, if like sitting on a plane is going to wreck your career, I don't know. Maybe that's not a guy you commit to, but it screwed up Klingberg's ability to play.
Mm-hmm.
And like it affects guys, man. It affects guys. So and Sheldon Keefe complained about it constantly. He said it was a grind. Yes, Jesse.
Adam, they were in Switzerland last year.
Oh, they were?
Oh, it was Nashville and someone else.
Man, you can't expect me to remember that far in the.
Nashville and San Jose.
See, Switzerland makes sense because they are.
Right.
I think they're 7th in men's ranking and they're 3rd in women's ranking. Like that's a hockey country.
Right, but those were the preseason games. So this is how the Global Series went last year. They played 2 preseason games, one in Switzerland and then one in Germany, and then they played 2 regular season games in the Czech Republic and then in Finland.
Yeah,
and that was Colorado, Columbus, Nashville, and San Jose who went over there.
See, those are all countries where it makes sense to play. I think what hockey needs to do. Germany is a really good one. Because it's on the rise and the program is really good. And all
ton of Germans in Sweden for the Global
What
Series.
they need to do is put real, not preseason, bullshit preseason games.
Yeah.
Sorry, Australia. You did get some bullshit preseason, although that Logan Cooley goal was great.
They know.
They should get a real NHL game. I know it would be difficult, but
I
they
don't
should.
think you could possibly.
They got them in 2011.
So you can't.
The Sabres Kings played in Germany. They played in Berlin over there for the NHL premiere. Is what they called that one. So yeah, I didn't realize how long they've been doing these overseas games. Like I'm going through the list on here.
Well, they do a terrible job promoting them. I'm not going to lie.
In 2007, they played a game in London.
Oh, they did? Okay.
The Ducks played the Kings.
See, what you need to be doing if you're the NHL is taking real games with good teams. And by the way, Ducks Kings 2007 would have been pretty good.
Yeah.
At least the Ducks would have been good.
Oh, yeah.
You need to take good teams, premier matchups, and put them in places where you want to grow. So if you're the NHL, you got to look at this from a purely business perspective. Which countries have the most money? And I would look at, you got to look at Great Britain, the whole, all 4 nations involved.
Yeah.
You got to look at France. France has a ton of money. You got to look at a country like, I think Norway makes a lot of sense. Zuccarello, especially if you can get the Wild over there.
He was a fan favorite in Sweden.
I also don't understand why the NHL doesn't want to do business in Asia.
They had the China games, the 2018. They called them the China games for preseason. They had Boston, Calgary fly over there in 2018. Then 2017, the NHL China games were Vancouver, Los Angeles.
Hey, great.
Which is kind of cool. The West Coast teams, go that way
makes
around
sense.
the world.
Those are
those are preseason games in 2017.
Why not Japan? Japan's another country.
I'm sure you could.
Ton of cash.
Yeah, I'm sure you could.
Like where fans, I think, would jump on it.
Korea.
Yeah, of course. And you look at the way. Here's the thing. Like there are some countries that are really sports countries. You ever watched a baseball game in Japan? The fans are bonkers.
In 2000, the Nashville Predators and Pittsburgh Penguins played in the Japanese games.
There you go.
They played 2 regular season games in 2000. 1998, the Calgary Flames played the San Jose Sharks, 2 regular season games. In 1997, the Ducks played the Canucks, 2 regular season games.
So here's the problem, is that a kid born on the day that those games were played is now 25.
So, and one thing I learned from the Global Series in Sweden is how well traveled it was. So there's going to be a ton of Mexican fans at the Mexico City games, obviously. But if there are fans in any of the neighboring countries, they will get there. Like there's a bunch of Twitter accounts in my mentions all the time, like Brazilian Leaf fans. I bet, they'll find a way to travel. And you might say, well, Steve, Brazil isn't exactly close to Mexico. Well, I mean, neither is, I guess Britain to Sweden. Mm-hmm. Still a 2.5-hour flight, but you'd be amazed how many fans made that trip because it's easier than making the friggin' trip to Canada or the States.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think you'd be surprised how well traveled it'll be.
I think it's going to be one of those things. I'd like to see them do it a couple times a year, once in the fall, once in the after the All-Star break. I don't know. I guess things get a little.
I'm actually
can't do that.
Looking
Can you
at
do
the
January?
list, I'm surprised at how well they've been doing with going once a year and hitting all of these markets. I think it's something they need to keep up. Doing the Australia games, it seemed
that was great.
That was so tough last year because of how far that is. But kudos to them for getting that done. And for a preseason game, I think that makes more sense. And if they just keep this up and keep going to these other markets, is actually a really good little idea the NHL
There's successful live events. It's the NHL needs to start. The NHL and their rights holders need to start treating these games the way they treat the outdoor games.
Yep.
The Heritage Classics, the Winter Classics, not the Stadium Series. Those, they are basically like, hey, there's a game today. Yeah, you got to stop treating it like that. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it's the Islanders, and I don't fucking know. Just tune in at 3 or when's the game?
Yeah, that promotion of it could use a lot
It's
more.
terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
And
like
by
I
the-
was shocked by the stuff I was reading about the Global Series while I was over there, because it's like the biggest thing going over there.
I enjoyed it. I liked it. I really, really enjoyed it.
I'm
I think
I'm glad you did. Did you have to, Adam? Did you pay to watch it?
Well, I had to. I couldn't pay to watch the Sens in Detroit, so I just gave up. I didn't bother with the legal stream. I'm like, I got laundry to fold. Like, I got shit to do. I'm sorry. And I would have had it on in the background.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think you're right. Jesse, what else you got?
I got something really quick. If you give me a second to get it up here. I'm just trying to open NHL stupid thing. Let me just do it from my email.
By the way, the Leafs website, every time I go on it on my phone, the most recent story is still the Leafs signed Noah Gregor.
What?
Look, I'll bring it up right now. Can we please fix it?
I think their website's a little brokey. So you mentioned the Winter Classic and the outdoor games and the Stadium Series and all that fun stuff. Are you bringing up Noah Gregor?
Yeah. It's still the most recent friggin' story. Why?
What
happened like
when
2 months
When
ago.
you scroll, what's the next one?
When you can't.
Yeah.
Oh, this? Leafs complete trade with Vancouver Canucks. It's Sam Lafferty. They just stop updating after the Gregor signing.
Also, MapleLeafs.com doesn't work right now on my computer for some reason.
Oh, that's good. Maple Leafs announced staff updates. So, yeah, Maple Leafs announced training camp roster.
Because no one goes to MapleLeafs.com for news.
Friggin' I do.
Why?
I don't know, because it's my job.
Well, they used to have a robust like Leafs TV and all that stuff and writers, and they just, I think they stopped doing it because the owners of the team are broadcasters and they don't want a MapleLeafs.com to take away from a Sportsnet.ca or a TSN.ca.
Oh, good.
Well, that's what it is, right? So I would imagine that probably plays into it.
Don't make things hard for people.
Yeah, I know.
Stop
I
doing
get
it.
I get it.
That is really weird.
Oh, is that the desktop site as well?
Yeah.
What are we doing? They just went to fucking Europe, and the top story, the most recent story, is Noah Gregor. What are we doing?
In terms of their news feed, yeah. If you go to team, that's just the roster. You
I think Noah
ticket
Gregor was a big
schedule,
story. It might be the story of the year.
Video.
And I feel like, Steve, you're underplaying how great.
So where they do kind of their updates is in the video section where they have all the post-game stuff and
How is that not on the homepage?
in the blueprint. But
How is it not on the homepage?
yeah, if you just land on the news page, it's Maple Leafs complete trade with Vancouver Canucks.
When I fart out
That's weird.
MapleLeafs.com with my thumbs, that should be the first thing I'm hit over the head
The
with.
blueprint, yeah.
Get out of here. Holy shit.
Okay, let me get to the last thing we'll get to here. The Winter Classic. You mentioned outdoor games and all that fun stuff. The Vegas Golden Knights and Seattle Kraken are playing in the Discover Winter Classic this year, and they just released the jerseys officially. They leaked a couple days ago, this past week, on a couple of different news outlets. But here we go. We have the official jerseys, Vegas and Seattle. What do you guys think? I can read out the
I
description.
think we're
as
trying
well if
too
you
hard.
want.
Do you ever try to convince yourself to hate something because everyone else does?
I don't hate it.
They're fine.
They're fine.
Those are fine.
But they're not like whoa.
Can you describe it for those listening on audio, Adam Wild?
So the Golden Knights one is white, gold, and blue. They have a gold shoulder patch, a gold.
Blue.
It's black. Sorry, the TV's a little color off. If you
Oh, it's black?
Yeah, it's-
Oh, okay. It looks
is it black
it's
or
black.
silver? Looks like
So
silver.
it's black,
silver, blackish, yeah.
black, white,
Gray.
and
Charcoal.
okay.
Steel.
You go ahead. No, you go take it. You tell them.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, Adam, continue.
Okay, so basically it's charcoal gray, gold, and white. And what you're essentially looking at is it's just like a Vegas V with almost like a fleur-de-lis on the top of both ends of the V, and brown gloves and blue pads, which is a weird mix. And
Gray
then
pads.
and then the Kraken one is like their jersey, but take the Seattle Kraken colors and make it 1920s, where they love to stripe everything for some reason.
And then the old Montreal Canadian one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly that. Or if you like the Pittsburgh Steelers, the old Bumblebee jerseys.
Yep.
And then the Kraken S is like it kind of looks like a monster, but it's red and it looks. Here's the thing: what doesn't work for me is making jerseys look retro from teams that were not around during retro times.
That's what I was gonna say.
Well, it's from their 1917 team. It says right there.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. All right.
Maybe I should have done it.
I think you should have.
Yeah, we could read out the thing they have next to the jerseys. It says the Kraken's NHL Winter Classic uniform is inspired by the 1917 Seattle team that holds the distinction of being the first U.S. team to win the Stanley Cup. In the crest, the tentacle that lives within the negative space of the original S has been replaced with Kraken.
Let's get Kraken. I don't know.
I think they're fine.
They're fine. You know what? I think what we need to stop doing is making so many jerseys. I'm ready to just go back to the normal jerseys and having a third jersey every once in a while. Like the special jerseys don't sell that well. I don't think as well. Anyway,
I think that's a bad take.
Is it a bad take? Do you like the new? Yeah, can we not just have a third jersey that sticks around for half a decade? Or no, we need to have a jersey that's used once.
If you're actually getting what you want right currently in this jersey climate, because Adidas, who's currently the jersey maker, has stopped making alternative jerseys for anything other than like these special events because they're switching over to the Fanatics jersey. So you're not going to get those special jerseys. So what you want is currently happening.
And listen, you'd be lucky if those jerseys next year even show up on time. So it's going to be, I don't know.
Well, how about this?
It's fine. They're good. They're good. If you like them,
the
great.
colors clash to me. I don't think red goes with that light blue and the dark blue and the white. That's my only problem with the Kraken jersey. I kind of like the Vegas one.
Also, the idea to have Seattle play Vegas, good job.
Yeah, I like that.
Correct.
You know what I like? I like Steve's SHL jersey, the Djurgården jersey. That was a good jersey.
Yeah.
Good colors.
Djurgården.
And colors that you don't traditionally see in the NHL. That type of red you haven't seen.
Djurgården melted Leo's mind, by the way.
Really?
Yes. Why? Because he's like, "What team is that, Daddy?" And I go, "It's Djurgården." He goes, "No." I go, "Yeah, it's Djurgården. It's not mine." What? It's Djurgården. It's not my garden. And no, it's your garden. No. And then he started to think it's a game. And now he won't. He just calls it Sweden.
Oh, okay.
That's my Sweden.
That works.
Trivia.
Not Swedish jersey. It's my Sweden.
Trivia to end the show. Can you tell me where this Winter Classic is being played?
What, the Seattle Vegas one?
Yeah.
Is it in either Seattle or Vegas?
I'm asking you.
I'm going to say Seattle.
I'm going to say Portland, Oregon.
Can you tell me what stadium in what city?
I'm going to say it's the... What do they call it? What do they call the Seahawks? Called it like the 16th man, whatever. When they bring McElmore out and they were going to win a Super Bowl.
I think it's at Richard Sherman's house.
Yeah,
It is not at the Seahawks football stadium. It is in Seattle and it's at the Mariners baseball.
That makes sense.
Okay.
stadium. Yeah, I
All
thought
right.
that was interesting.
I guess it makes sense not to have it during football season in the football stadium.
Yeah, but they can.
Can they? I don't know.
They have.
It's also really temperate there, so I'm wondering how the ice is going to be.
Like we had one at fucking Foxborough.
Yeah,
You know.
but what time of year?
They have one in California.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well.
I wonder that just the ice is going to be fascinating.
I feel like they go to the football stadiums more often. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I feel like they go to the football stadiums more often.
I think so.
Do a Kraken Canucks one. That's all I'm saying.
I'd like a Leafs outdoor game again sometime soon.
We just had one.
I know.
It was miserable.
I know.
Tim Hortons Field is the worst place on
That
earth.
was a Sabres outdoor game.
I want to know if anybody listening to this went to the Grey Cup and was miserable for 3 hours.
Oh, because it was also
It was at Tim Hortons Field.
I just want to interview the people who live in a normal looking house next to the building.
You could see into that person's bathroom from like row 3.
Yeah, imagine like just your house. And you walk out of your door and it's just Scotiabank Arena. It's just the Sky Dome right there. And you might be listening to this going, "Well, I live in a condo." No. You're not listening. A house. These guys just live in a neighborhood. It's just like a cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
You know what?
Right outside the fucking building.
If you want to make some money, put some porta potties out there
Yep.
every time anytime there's an event there. Anytime the Arkells are in town, make sure that you honestly, dude, because like You could charge serious cash. I would have peed I had to pee so bad I would have peed from my seat into your house. Like,
You'd be able to feel
And you probably could.
I honestly,
because they're that close.
You'd be able to feel the heat from Nickelback's Pyro.
Oh yeah.
No, Green Day played.
Oh, Green Day played.
Oh,
Yeah, Green Day
Oh,
played
No,
this.
Did
I
they
just
swear?
because they're from Hamilton.
I bet they swore. How unique and quirky of them
You're
to
being
do
mean.
that thing that no.
Did they swear at the?
I don't know.
They get on stage and I'm fucking 50, and we all go, yeah.
What is happening?
Are you bashing?
What is
Green
that?
Day?
Where did
Yeah, I'm
this
sick
come
of them.
from?
I'm sick of them because they get on a mic and they just go fuck, and everyone goes woo. It's 2023. That's not rebellious anymore. I don't care.
Shocked. Why do you have pent up rage for Green Day?
No, because every couple years they play somewhere live because someone like forgot to book anyone relevant, and they're like, "Oh shit, let's get Green Day," and the clip goes viral of them swearing, and people are like, "Can you believe that?" Yes, that's what they do at every show. Who cares? Shut up.
I bet they're gonna play. Holiday again.
They already,
Yeah.
they already played it.
What the fuck is up, Hamilton? Shut up. Shut up.
This is one of your most absurd takes.
So hold on.
They're fine.
To be clear, you're not for or against Green Day? It's more just like
The act of
like Mick Jagger at 50 didn't need to get on stage.
No,
to
but
swear.
it's like, can you believe
rock and roll
Mick
can
Jagger,
be rock and roll without it? Is that what you're saying?
I
Grow
just
up.
called him Nick Jagger. Can you believe Mick Jagger pursed his lips? Yes, that's what he does. Oh, Billy Joel,
That's what he does.
Joe Bob or whatever gets on stage.
You know what
and
this
swears.
rant sounds a lot like?
Joe Bob.
You know what this rant sounds a lot like?
What?
Can you believe Wes Macaulay went up there and did fighting?
Yeah,
This is the same shit, Steve.
Green Day is the Wes Macaulay of pop punk.
Wow.
They're not.
Wow.
They're very much not.
Damn,
I don't even
dude.
understand how that makes sense.
Are they good or were they fun? Are they still good or were they fun once upon a time?
I think they're a good band.
Yeah,
If
they
you're
were
into their
good.
music,
They made some good songs.
No, but-
they did an Enterprise commercial, and then after that, I was like, "That's enough."
Music
Oh wait, no,
isn't
sorry, that's Wes.
sports in that you can just play the hits from way back when, and
Yeah.
there's still the same song.
I'm not hating on the hits.
You don't start sucking.
I'm not hating
when you
on
get
the
old.
hits.
They're the same songs.
I'm not hating on the hits. It's just, oh man, they swore. Can you believe that? And I'm like, yeah, man, of course.
I didn't watch the halftime show, so somebody's got to tell us if they
Did they swear?
If they swore, I don't know.
I saw a clip and it was like, oh,
Oh, so they did. You
we're
saw?
fucking Green Day, and people go, what? That's the most rebellion I've ever seen. I'm a fucking pilgrim.
You want to hear?
I can't believe they swore in public.
Can I
It's the 1700s.
Can I give you a music take?
Yeah.
I thought it was weird that the NHL traveled to Sweden and sang the American and Canadian national anthems.
It was incredibly weird.
It
was weird in
I'm
the
like,
building.
why are we in their country and not singing their national anthem? And also, shout out to the Swedish singers who had just barely learned both of them. Like, there was a couple times I'm like, oh, Canada's going off the rails, boys.
There was one O Canada.
Like,
that was
why are
pretty
we
bad.
singing our national anthem?
There was a singer, I forget her name. She had like a dark bob.
Yep.
But she, as a Canadian, I love this country. Man, the American anthem kicks our ass.
Oh yeah.
And you could tell it was, all right, I'm going to get through O Canada, this little camp song. And now for the real anthem.
Yeah.
And she doesn't care. It's not her country. She's just exploring.
Yep.
She's just taking that song for a little ride, going up the chords, down the trebles and all that. I don't know all the music terms, but she was singing all sorts of notes and none of them were the right ones, but they all sounded great. And you could tell it was the greatest moment of her life. And then the game started and we were all like, we're in neither of those countries.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's a bit odd.
It's really weird.
Also,
it's like
didn't we
people that-
hear it was they didn't want to do it for time? It would take too long.
No,
So they,
well, you don't do 3. You do 1.
yeah, you just do the Swedish one because
Like, I think fans in the United States and Canada will be okay if we don't hear our national anthem while it's in Sweden. I think we'll be all right.
yeah, no, most
think we
normal
survived.
people were like, hey, this is odd. Why aren't we?
I mean, it's already odd that we sing a national anthem before every game. It's weird. And you can't tell me it's not. It's just because you've never questioned it before. It's weird.
Well, and like, not everyone knows the appropriate time during the anthem to go, go Leafs, go! Because sometimes it's weird. Other times you're like, fuck yeah.
When we were at the game last Saturday, I think it was, it's Natalie Morris is the new singer. Is that her name?
Yeah, I think so.
And when she stepped out, someone was like, fuck yeah, Natalie.
Yeah.
And she started laughing.
That was funny. That was very funny.
I just don't understand. I don't get the anthem thing anyway, but I just feel like as a fun little nod to the country we're going to, let them sing their own national anthem. We'll be okay. I've heard the Star Spangled Banner. I've heard Oh Canada. Who cares? Hearing it one more time isn't going to make me more or less patriotic or a citizen. So why don't we just fucking throw it away and move on?
It's just that South Park episode after I don't hear the anthem once. We're going to burn down your Federal Express. Remember that one?
Yes. Yeah.
Burn it down.
All right, Adam, throw on your headphones.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
What? Is that the extra? Well, we're Friday, and we'll be able to talk about actual hockey games. How about that? I miss the Leafs.
The Leafs won't play when we do another episode.
Other teams. But
Other
not the
teams, though.
And don't worry, the Leafs get another 5-day break in December. Fuck yeah, Hamilton!
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.